The house never locked its doors. That was the first thing people said, like it was proof of something. Like the absence of force meant the absence of danger. You could leave whenever you wanted. Front door, back door, windows, nothing jammed, nothing stuck, no tricks. People left. They just didn't stay gone. I moved in because I needed somewhere cheap and temporary. Somewhere that didn't ask questions. The landlord didn't say much either, just handed me the keys and said, "You won't have problems here." He was right. The problems started outside. The first night, I woke up screaming. Not from a nightmare, from nothing. No images, no memories, just raw panic ripping me awake, heart hammering, lungs burning like I'd been running. I lay there in the dark, waiting for it to pass. Didn't. The room felt wrong, too still, like the air had thickened while I slept. I sat up and immediately felt better. Not calm, emptied, like something had been drained out of me. I slept the rest of the night sitting upright. In the morning, I found scratches on the inside of my forearms. Thin, red, parallel. I didn't remember making them. The house smelled the same every day. Not clean, not dirty, neutral, like nothing had ever decayed there long enough to leave a mark. The second week, I noticed I wasn't dreaming anymore. Not blank sleep, missing sleep. I would lie down, close my eyes, and then suddenly it would be morning. No sense of time passing, no rest, no fatigue, just interruption. People started visiting, not planned, they just showed up. Friends I hadn't spoken to in years. A coworker who said she felt like she should check on me. They all reacted the same way. They stopped talking once they stepped inside. Not immediately, slowly, like the house was turning the volume down on them. One man stood in the hallway for 10 minutes without moving, eyes unfocused, mouth slightly open. When I touched his shoulder, he flinched like I'd shocked him. "I forgot what I was saying," he muttered. He left an hour later. He came back the next day with bags. I started noticing what the house did at night. Sounds moved when I wasn't looking. Footsteps that didn't belong to anyone. Doors opening that I hadn't touched. Something pacing slowly beneath the floorboards. Never fast, never erratic. Like it had nowhere else to be. The mirrors became unreliable. Sometimes I'd catch my reflection reacting before I did. Turning its head. Tensing. Watching something behind me. When I spun around, there was nothing. I tried leaving. I packed a bag and walked out in the middle of the afternoon. Didn't look back. Didn't hesitate. By the time I reached the end of the street, my chest started hurting. Not anxiety, pressure. Like my ribs were tightening inward. The world felt loud, sharp, every sound too close, every color wrong. People's faces looked distorted. Exaggerated expressions, blinking too much, mouths opening too wide when they spoke. I collapsed on the pavement. I don't remember standing up again. I woke up on the floor of the house. The front door was closed, unlocked. I wasn't alone anymore after that. Others were there, people who hadn't been invited. People who didn't introduce themselves. They moved carefully, avoided corners, slept in shifts without discussing it. One woman cried constantly but couldn't explain why. She kept whispering, "It doesn't want me loud." A man tried to leave through a window one night. I heard him screaming from the driveway, not in pain, in realization. They found him the next morning sitting on the front step, knees pulled to his chest, rocking. "I can't hold myself together out there," he kept saying. "It pulls me apart." The house started changing how time felt. Days shortened, nights stretched. I'd blink and lose hours. Sometimes I'd find myself standing in a room with no memory of walking there. The house never spoke. It didn't need to. It learned. One night, I caught something watching me from the end of the hallway. Not a figure. A shape in the dark where the walls bent inward slightly, like the house was narrowing its focus. The pressure hit again, stronger, like hands around my ribs. I fell to my knees, gasping. The feeling eased only when I stopped moving. That was the rule. Stillness was rewarded. Movement was punished. Leaving was possible. Enduring it was not. Now I understand why everyone comes back. It's not comfort. It's survival. The outside world scrapes you raw, demands pieces you don't have anymore. The house takes things too, but it takes them cleanly. I still have keys. I still know where the doors are. Sometimes I even reach for them. Then the pressure starts, and I remember what happens when I try to exist somewhere else.